Okay, this is a tour of our deep freeze. So then it's basically full disclosure. You've seen what my refrigerator looks like, freezer looks like, and now I'm going to show you, because I have had a lot of questions about you don't have meat in your hauls, or where's the meat, or where's vegetables and so on, and understandably, because that's not our basic weekly haul. None of that stuff. We do that once a month or once every 2 months, sometimes once every 3 months. And so if you haven't been around long, you haven't seen that haul. So I'm not going to pick up each package because, of course, it's cold and I'm still working on defrosting this. But we do have a couple of packages of salmon down there. I do have some cubes that I took an ice cube tray, I filled it with water, and then I chopped up little chunks of celery. So when I make homemade soup, I just drop 3 or 4 cubes in it, and then it has the celery. Some pineapple chunks, and I've got some frozen blueberries down there, and then we've got 4 of these larger packs of hamburger. I think there's 3 pounds in each one of them, and the last time I bought hamburger was in April. So there's that, and I have 4 of those. So, and all 4 bought at the same time, and now as we've gone down to the market 5-6 months later, they don't have this ground, they just have those long strings or whatever of hamburger, and whether they do or they don't taste exactly the same, and I assume that they probably taste close to the same, we don't like the texture. So it just might be another thing that we just kind of phase out of our life and turn back to eating roast beef or, you know, the occasional steak, and then just go full chicken, turkey, and fish. See the lone package of french fries in here? We've got some breakfast sausages. That's how I do them up. I buy a package. I put 2 in each package. It lasts a couple months. Some of my husband's hot dogs, bun length, Oscar Mayers. And then the rest is chickens. When the local grocery store had these on sale for $5.99 for a 4-pound whole chicken, I went down and I bought 4 of them. So, and I didn't clean out the meat at all, but in fact, whenever I go in there, the butcher's always eyeballing me because he knows that I like these. And a lot of people just buy like the golden plump, which is perfectly fine as well. But I've just been eating these for so many years that I buy them whenever they're on special. And I'm happy to buy them on special. I like the company, I like the taste of the meat. So that is what it looks like as I'm still defrosting. So what I'm going to show you next is all of the produce that I processed from early spring until now to eat until next January. Okay, we have some tomatoes that I'm going to make homemade tomato sauce with. Just one batch that will last us 2 or 3 meals, maybe even a great big pan of lasagna. I always mark the date and where they came from, so if we enjoy it and love them and how they turned out processed, we buy them the following year. This is where we got some sweet corn, and as we were eating sweet corn and filling up to our heart's content, I found the sweet corn that we liked the best, and I did down some ears, so it just was a quick blanch and then frozen. I just took that same sweet corn and I put it in little tiny bags, and then we'll add that to soup, or we'll have that as a side for a meal. I've got some zucchini that's just been grated, and I'll make muffins out of that. I'll put that in pancakes, whatever. I've got some broccoli from a local farm. When we went to Walmart, they had a good buy on cauliflower and broccoli one time. So we came home, we ate part of the cauliflower, we ate part of the broccoli, and I blanched and froze the rest. So if you buy a big head of cauliflower and then, oops, the next day you're not going to be around or you can't eat it all or whatever, just chop off the amount or the content that you're not going to eat that day or the following couple of days before it turns black. Just blanch it for a minute or 2, put it in a freezer bag, and away it goes. It's good. I don't know how many months, but we usually have this all gone in 3. So there's broccoli and there's cauliflower for later. And then we have green beans portioned out for enough for the both of us for a meal, and leftovers. So there's one bag portioned out. And another, where I'm going to combine these now that I see. I did them all at different times. One in July, one in August, so we'll combine those in a bag. This one was also done in July. And then we got some beets. My husband often buys jars of Nellie's beets, but these were boiled up or roasted, one of the two. And we can just take a couple of those out and thaw them and either roast them or fry them or just have them cold. Or you can even pickle them up for the afternoon, and he can have those sliced on a salad instead of buying the stuff in a jar. And last but not least, I have some rosemary that I harvested for my rosemary plants. I've still got 2 more harvests to go. I just pull this out of the bag and crush it over the top of a whole chicken when I roast it on Sunday, because we usually have a roast chicken every Sunday. Got some par cooked, so we just put it in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil. Just cooked them just until they're crisp around the edges, because they often get zucchini, or summer squash often gets very mushy for me. I've done this before. You just par cook them so that around the edges it gets a little crispy, and then you let it cool down. I usually just put whatever it is that I've cooked up in a bowl, put it in the refrigerator. When it's cooled down, I put it in a refrigerator bag, or I lay it out on a sheet tray so that they don't clump together. It's no big deal for us though, because we're going to use this all with either eggs or stir fry. So a lot of our fall meals are soups, stews, stir fries, meals that have 2 or 3 vegetables in them, eggs, obviously the holiday meals when we talk about turkey and all the different leftovers I can make from turkey. We do a lot of lasagnas. We have company. I send lasagnas to friends. We've got 2 elderly neighbors that I make lasagnas for. We also send leftovers for. So it's kind of heavy in the potatoes, make homemade stuffing, noodles, rice, pasta dishes, plus just, good old whatever. Mashed potatoes, gravy, vegetables, veggie bakes, stir fries, you name it. One and only store-bought is Brussels sprouts. I haven't found a farmer yet that grows them or sells them. Some zucchini, chopped really big so that I can maybe carve these out or carve into them a little bit, and then I put in like what you would do for a stuffed pepper. And we have zucchini boats, some squash. This was just purchased a little bit ago. We're going this weekend and purchasing more. So I buy 1 acorn squash and bake it up, and we eat it that day, and 1 for the freezer. So that day I bought 4. So we got 1 here and 1 there. Best zucchini, I mark on it where it's from. It's from Mark's Market in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Absolutely love it. We buy it every year and have for almost 20 years. So got that. We've got some blanched cabbage. We just went to a local farmer's market here about 3 weeks ago and bought a 40-pound cabbage. It was huge. And we ate it for 3 days, and then I blanched it for a couple of minutes and put it in the refrigerator, cooled it down, put it in a freezer bag, and we were going to have this with sausages. We also do a lot of different sausage dishes in the wintertime. Here's some blanched zucchini chunks. That'll be for soups, stews, and stir fries. And then I had more of the shreds of zucchini, and I'm making fritters out of these. And I can leave that recipe if somebody wants that. And that's it for the frozen vegetables. I showed you the meat. I did show you the 1 package of Brussels sprouts that we have. I usually show you a refrigerator and a freezer tour in about every other video. We don't have a pantry. We do have some backups of some condiments, and obviously I have flour and sugar and baking ingredients, and that's all the food we've got. I'm not a big one to store food. We did during the pandemic a little bit, but then we ended up having to, we didn't use it all, so we gave it away, which is fine to give it away, and we also gave it to the food pantry, and that's also fine too. But in a 1,000-square-foot apartment, we don't have a lot of room for extra refrigerators or chest freezers, or due to weight limits, this is a 25-year-old building. We can't stockpile hundreds of pounds in the back room. So it is what it is, and we're happy with it and satisfied with it. This food plus the meat that we've got, here and there we're going to have to buy lunch meat. Here and there we'll have to buy breakfast sausages or bacon, but otherwise this is enough food to last us probably till the end of the year. At Thanksgiving time, I'll go out and buy a couple turkeys when they reach the right price, and at Christmas time, I'll go out and buy a couple of hams, and that'll be it for us until sometime in January. So I hope this answers some questions, and I'm happy to answer more questions. All opinions and all comments are welcome here. Thanks for joining me on this little tour of my chest freezer. Oh, and I forgot to add in, just in case I hadn't mentioned it before, all of these bags are reused. I think we maybe buy 80 or go through, I don't know, we'll say, I think we buy 80 count freezer bags a year, and I've usually got 3/4 of the box left at the end of the year. Some of these bags, as long as they're in good condition, have been used 3 or 4 years. Wash them out, we dry them on a rack, and we reuse them. So I would much prefer blanching and freezing than doing canning. That's just the way I've always done it for the last, I'll say, 25 years. It's probably not going to change anytime in the future. We usually just want in our possession 3 months worth of food. If we need anything more than that, well, we'll make those plans when we move out of our apartment here in the next year. So again, thanks for joining me here. And again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below.